Hello and welcome to the Sacred Gates Ascension podcast. My name is Illura, and today's video is on quality over quantity. Sometimes practitioners can get focused more on the quantity, so the amount of practice that they're doing and the amount of training that they're doing accumulated in clock time, in the time, over quality, so the actual quality. And it's better really to do 5 minutes or even 1 minute of really intense focused practice as opposed to 1 hour of just kind of practice that's not really focused, or you take 20 minutes to get focused. And so we don't want to develop onto that path where we're really talking about how long I trained for and how I do it every day for this amount of time. It really doesn't matter. Like with anything in life, having a focus on quantity over quality is a really valuable focus. It's going to really change your attitude, which is everything in your practice. So when we put quantity over quality or quality over quantity, it's really a reflection of our attitude towards ourselves, towards our own spirit and our own path and our art that we've taken on. So I think that using a timer can be very beneficial, especially if you need to be somewhere. But if you've actually got an open amount of time at a certain part of the day, I really recommend not using a timer. And if you are prone to being focused on how long I trained for, then I suggest that you don't use a timer and actually focus on quality and really sinking as quick as you can into the deepest level of your practice and training. Now, it's completely possible to raise the bar and ask your higher self to really get you going and really get you focused and training and really reach your peak state for your training. The other thing you can use a timer for is to set a timer for a short amount of time, and within that time frame really drive yourself to get using all your mechanics and everything that you know to get you on board up to that level where you're really at a high level of focus, concentrated, saturated practice. Because if you don't train yourself to do that, then it could be that you're training yourself to basically take a long time to get to your peak state. Now, when I say peak state, I don't mean like Anthony Robbins style with what he loves to do with the NLP. It's a different kind of thing. But what I mean is just your peak state, your maximum level. Generally, it's going to be focus, concentrated focus, willpower, and not only that, but sincerity. For when you have reverence for what you're doing and reverence for your higher self, reverence for the art that you are connecting with, then you're really going to want to bring your willpower up really strong. And so your peak state is actually about your attitude. It's about your willingness, and that's to do with your sincerity, how sincere you are. And so it's rather than training yourself to fill a certain amount of clock time and tick a certain amount of boxes in a certain amount of time, and that's what the achievement is and that's what success is. Rather than that, try focusing instead on time. Focus on quality of practice, qualities of substances, which is your focus, your sincerity, your reverence, and that'll build your reverence for your practice. And you'll start finding that your attitude really changes, and it comes about really developing your skill. And as I said before, it's always helpful to keep a journal. So at the end of a really focused, dedicated session, you journal how you got to that place, or just in general journal and reflect, and so that your practice starts to kind of have a lot of structure and integrity and sincerity and reverence, and these kind of qualities that are very purifying. They really purify you, and they help to purify if you have certain substances that are toxic, such as indifference or pride, laziness, these kinds of things that get in the way of the purity of your practice and allowing your practice to develop you spiritually and to cleanse you. These kinds of practice, focusing on quality rather than quantity, will really shed away and clear, because those frequencies, those lower, denser frequencies, can't survive in that environment. So they're going to disperse. And the more you make it your practice to focus on quality, as I said, even if it's just 1 minute or 10 minutes, then you can build yourself up to a quality half hour, or quality 20 minutes, or a quality 1 hour, eventually quality 2-3 hours. And that's what you want to be developing, is the quality. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye bye.